Hello, everyone. I'm Joy Jarin today, and welcome to our fourth edition of Transforming India Conclave 2025. And here we have the most important person who combines AI and art, which are two extremes. Here we have the first Indian AI artist, Mr. Harshit Agrawal, here with us. So we're very honored to have you with us today, sir. I'd like to ask a few questions and gain a few insights from you.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here. It's a beautiful campus. The event that's happening is also very exciting. So, shoot away with your questions. Happy to answer them.
Yes, sir. So you've been called India's first AI artist. So could you share your journey in a short, like how it came from IIT, MIT, and then you merged into art and artificial intelligence?
Yeah.
Both are some different extremes.
Yeah.
How did you get to that?
Yeah. So, even like if when I was starting to study in college or like when I was in the first years of my education, if you asked me, I also wouldn't say that I would build a career at the intersection of art and AI, because I was studying computer science and design. And I think at some point I started realizing this importance of looking at technology not only from a problem solving perspective, but also because we were starting to live with AI 24/7, like live with technologies on our phone that would constantly be hearing us, be kind of monitoring us. I started feeling that building more poetic kind of interactions with it, building more artistic ways in which you could engage more critically with it is important. So, around like towards the like second year of my graduation studies when I was at MIT, I started feeling kind of this necessity almost of making art about and with AI. So yeah, that's when I started engaging in this kind of field. And since then, I think AI itself, like I had thought back then, has already evolved a lot. And I think now, since the last couple of years, people are becoming much more aware of AI as a tool and what it means to kind of engage with it. But I think at this point, again, like art becomes much more critical to happen.
Well put, sir. That was really great hearing it. In aligning with this question, I'd like to ask another one. So many artists they use brushes, clays,
Hmm.
pencils, and a lot of stuffs. But
Yeah.
you use algorithms, machines, and codes to create paintings. So what did you find so unique about that?
Yeah, I think these tools like algorithms, data, machine learning, etc., they offer very different ways of art making. Like while a pencil or a paintbrush also as a medium influences your work, with AI technologies, I think that influence is much more, or the capabilities of the tool are much more, that they can take in inputs of hundreds and thousands of images of a certain kind, let's say, and then they can give you like visual patterns within that no human can possibly do. Like that's beyond our cognitive capabilities. Or it can create in real time different like outputs, hundreds of different outputs that again also humans cannot do, right? So I think those kind of like different capabilities of AI systems or algorithms, I think make me very excited about using that for art making. And that is from a creative lens, let's say, but also from a critical lens. I think, like I was saying, because we are so constantly like being monitored, being engaged with AI systems, I think art becomes a way to like allow people to have more discussions about that then. And it becomes a way to kind of call out, let's say, how it's being used in fields of uh, politics and economics and so on. And then people become a little bit more aware, because you would almost guess that AI companies by itself uh, do not necessarily want to make like work that makes AI more transparent. They want to kind of keep it opaque to people so that people don't kind of start questioning it or start questioning their rights within an AI ecosystem. And I think art can become that medium to provoke people, to challenge people, and to think more in like in a more critical engagement manner with the tool that is now part of our all our lives.
Yes, sir. Your perspective is really great.
Thank
And then many people now think like AI has come into place and it may erase originality.
you. Hmm.
So how do you differentiate from something which is origin and AI based thing? How do you
Mhm.
differentiate both?
Yeah, so I think originality by itself is something that wouldn't necessarily go away with AI. Like there are tools of AI that can augment like human creativity or human cognitive expression, cognitive capabilities. And I think it becomes important for the humans to like make sure they don't slip into a space where they're just relying on AI for becoming consumers of that technology. I think they have to be aware enough of what AI is doing, what capabilities AI has, so that they can make sure that there are certain other things that are uniquely human and that continue to kind of be something that humans keep engaging in. It's like coming up with new ideas, coming up with new kinds of like ways of connecting with other humans and so on. I think all those become important for humans to keep doing themselves rather than becoming caught in just being passive consumers of AI technology, because then I think these tech companies will continue to profiteer from humans and will keep them kind of trapped almost in that bubble, like what I also say different kinds of filter bubbles. And yeah, unless you actively engage, then you're right in saying that originality might be lost, but it won't be lost just because AI exists. It depends on how we use AI and how we kind of come up with our own new things to kind of do and engage with. So yeah.
So it's basically like you have to use AI to create something. I mean, like to help you create something, but not use AI itself to create something.
Yeah, correct. Like AI is a tool at the end of the day. It's a very powerful tool and it's something that can definitely like speeden up a lot of things and do a lot of like tasks which you couldn't do. And therefore that gives you enough time also that is free for you, but also gives you these skill sets, right? These like kind of possibilities which earlier you didn't have. So it's up to us to then make something new from those possibilities rather than saying that this is the limit of all that we can do. I think there is no upper limit of or a countable limit of like there are 1,000 things that humans can do and now that AI can do those 1,000 things, there's nothing left. So it's up to us to keep like figuring out, given that these 1,000 things can be done, let's say by AI, what are the other things that we enjoy doing more that we can now do? And kind of AI in a certain sense is almost going to liberate us from just focusing on those 1,000 things, right? Like just to give an example, like when photography started, there was a lot of debate, like because up till that point, artists used to make like real portraits, like real life portraits of like famous people and kings and so on. And that was kind of their job, to capture reality as it is to the best extent possible. And when photography came about, you would almost argue that photographers would kind of like photography as a tool would take away the artist's work. But that in a way liberated the artists to not have that foundation of just mimicking reality. They could now interpret reality in all kinds of different ways. So you had uh, the Picassos of the world kind of making new forms of portrait altogether, portrait art, right? So I think similarly, like any technology, definitely like captures a bunch of things and automates them to a large extent, like what is already happening. But then that also liberates you from those aspects, right? And then pushes you to kind of think of what's next or what new things can you do. So I think that there's always an encouraging sign in the evolution of technology for sure.
Yes, sir. Like as a coin has two sides, it depends on the person who
Yeah,
uses it.
exactly.
Very well said, sir. Thank you for that. And then here is a question. If you had to describe art, your art, in just 3 words to someone who doesn't even know about what art is or who hasn't seen art, maybe a person who's blind or something. So, with 3 words, you have to describe your art. What are those three words?
That's very tough. It's not something that I think of, like just to concisely put it. But I think I would say it is definitely like critical of the times we are in. Critical meaning not in a negative sense, just making sure that uh, it's not decorative. It's not just like visual fantasy or anything, but it really challenges you to think of like what's happening in the world. So, like a critical approach. It's also engaging. I think it's important in today's times, like because we have so many other things that are engaging or catching our attention, right? Like we have social media, we have YouTube, we have all kinds of like distractions. So art by itself, if it's like passive in nature, then people might not like enter into it or engage with it. So I think engaging becomes important. So yeah, critical, engaging, and I think also like it is something that is contemporary. Like contemporary art is is a phrase that's used for any art that's happening in today's times, right? But I think sometimes it tends to still be rooted in nostalgia or in the past. So I think it's for me it's important that the art that I make is very much responding to what is shaping our world today, which is technology and AI to a very large extent. Like I wouldn't say that's the only thing, but I think because it's not just like one separate field, right? It's something that cuts across all the other fields, like be it social sciences, be it politics, be it culture, be it economics, be it medicine, be it even like finding love on like dating apps or something. So I think everything is now so like universally like augmented or evolving with AI that I would say, yeah, like the art that I make is also in that sense very contemporary. So yeah, I would say critical, engaging, contemporary. There's a body of works that I make that are also more playful in nature, which are more towards like educational aspects about different cultural forms of the world. So yeah, I mean maybe those four words is something that I can use,
Okay.
but so it'll be critical, engaging, contemporary, and playful maybe. Yeah.
Okay, so CECP.
Yeah.
So these were
Yes.
glad to hear that. So that's really great. And you've gone across world like Russia, Brazil, Japan, and
Mm.
Korea, and many more places.
Mm.
But still, you wanted your Indian identity to be known. So
Yeah.
how do you manage between global outlooks and Indian identity?
Yeah, I think for me, again, like when I was starting to make art with AI machine learning, I realized also that it's not a discussion that we were having in India at all, like especially 10, 11 years ago. It wasn't a conversation in the Indian art ecosystem or in the kind of the cultural context of India. And I started feeling like, on the other hand, there was a lot of tech adoption that was happening in India. Like I spoke of earlier today, India is kind of the largest user of technologies like WhatsApp, Instagram, ChatGPT, even like the modern day AI tools, right? So uh, somehow we kind of are missing in the context of having more culturally nuanced discussions around these tools or around this technology. And I think for me that mattered a lot, that if I make art with AI, it is rooted in kind of the contexts or the narratives of India, so that people can engage from an Indian context much more. And if I make something that's rooted more in, let's say, Western themes, then people here will again like lose out on that connection. So for me, that was important, but it was also important because, like you said, I show work a lot globally also, that people outside of India also realize that kind of how India is responding to the usage of new technologies, right? And it even though the numbers are there, oftentimes just the perception is that people in India may not be using technology that much, or may not be the ones that are kind of uh, like creating the examples of what's to come and so on. So for me as an artist, like the domain I work in, it was very important that if I'm having the opportunity to take my work to a global stage, that I make sure that people there also see kind of what Indian art is, what themes of art we are kind of engaging with, what are the larger like socio-political narratives in India, how tech is shaping up the future of India, and so on. So yeah, that became important for me.
Yes, sir. So you're an asset for India as well as for AI and art together.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your valuable insights with us today. And it has been a really great time that we are spending with you. And today we knew that creativity is not just bounded with paintbrushes and kind of stuffs, but it's just where your heart follows, where your
Absolutely.
intuition follows.
Absolutely.
Yeah, where your passion is there and where determination is
Yeah.
absolutely there.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for this wonderful session.
Thank
And
you.
this is Jolly Jarin signing off. Meet you again at the next conclave. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Jolly. Wonderful speaking to you.